Welcome to Sportsman's Watch Outdoors. I'm Vance Bishop. I'm here today with Anthony Caputo with Skiffland Boatworks.
Yes, sir.
Man, I appreciate you having me down. I really do.
I'm happy
I watch
you're
you
here,
every
man.
night, man.
I'm happy you're here.
I watch you every night. I watched all the way back to when you proposed to your wife.
Really? Dude.
I got to watching you probably about a year ago or so.
Yeah.
And when I start getting into watching the show, I'll go back to watch all the videos.
Yeah.
See what else this guy's done. And I went back, so let me see his first boat build. I mean, first boat build was proposing to your wife on the beach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was great.
The crazy thing, I went back and watched that video with the old lady actually maybe a week or two ago, and just the difference in, I don't even know, like the presence on camera. I was so nervous. I was definitely not myself. Like that combined with actually being super nervous to propose and everything, it was just a perfect storm for a extremely awkward video.
You can definitely see the progression in your presence online on your video, because now it's like you're just hanging out with the boys. You're just chilling.
That's what
it's
I
very
try to
natural. And that's one of the things that got me watching. I'm like, this dude's just like hanging out in his shop with everybody on that camera.
Yeah.
He's hanging out with guys like him that like to build boats and like to do the stuff he does, and he's just bringing them into his shop. That's what appealed to me.
That is absolutely everything that I've tried to do. There's been a lot of times over the past few years just working solo in the shop, and I figured, if I bring in some homies via camera, whatever, it's literally like I'm not alone anymore.
Right.
So there's times where I've needed a homie in the shop. So now I try to be the homie in the shop for other homies that might need a homie in the shop. So like, we built a pretty cool community over here, and seriously, it makes everything so much more fun. I can't tell you all of the stories that have just been untold over the years because I was just a lone wolf in the game. Now, it's one of my favorite things to have a crazy experience and be able to look at the camera and be like, did you see that?
Yeah.
So,
and recently I watched that one video, wasn't too long ago, where you ranted about the boat industry.
Yeah.
And all the getting little broed and stuff. One thing I really liked about that video is where you said, basically, I'm bringing it back down. I'm bringing it back down to me in the shop doing what I love to do and not worrying about trying to be up here, because I'm a guy right here. I'm happy here. I'm content here. And this is where my passion is. And that's another thing that drew me to you was the passion for the boats, because I love boats. I've been around boats my whole life. But I'll see you at like the boat shows and the stuff and see you talking about the boats. And I'm like, this dude just truly, he loves boats. He has a passion for this industry. He loves what he does. And that's one of the things I just love, seeing people that are truly passionate about their craft. And you are by far.
I appreciate it. It's hard to live in Florida and not have a passion for it. Yeah. But I don't know, man. There's just something about it. Because even when I look at this boat sitting right here, I see a boat, I see fun times in the shop, I see a project, I see, a lot of lessons to be learned. But I also see this end goal, blasting down the intercoastal, having a great time, and there's just something about it. I don't know.
And this is something that you can build, obviously, from scrap, because this is a bare hole right now. I mean, there's nothing under there. This is a bare hole. This is something you can build, you and your family can enjoy for a while. Yeah. And then pass that on to somebody else to take out and enjoy. Yeah. Might be somebody's first experience in boating, and you're passing that passion on.
That's something that I honestly forget about sometimes, get caught up in the financial chase a lot, and you forget that you're passing along memories. But seriously, I still get pictures from people who have purchased boats. They send me pictures with their kids on the boat, holding up big snook, big fish.
That's awesome.
And I sit there and have a moment and like realize, wow, I did not realize that I just sold somebody so many like memories,
right?
And it's either a good memory or a bad memory when you're on Facebook Marketplace. So I try to do my part in making it a good memory. Man, oh man. I've had my fair share of bad memories. So
Facebook Marketplace is a tough business. I mean, you got every critic in the world and what I call keyboard warriors.
yes,
They'll call you or message you and critique you and tear you down and try to get you down on the price and stuff for something is worth what you're asking or close to it.
yep.
And it's a tough business.
It is a tough business. If you are in the business of just reselling anything, then you can kind of have it under an umbrella of just, a Facebook Marketplace guy. If you're buying side-by-sides, boats, furniture, whatever it is, you can umbrella it under that. But if you frame yourself into a boat builder or a mechanic, the crazy thing that goes unnoticed a lot of the times is that you have your job now building boats from scratch, rebuilding cars, trucks, whatever, and then you have to go and be a salesman. And
Right.
it is a whole entire separate job. My wife knows all about it, because building the boat is just half the battle.
Yeah.
I want to say I have spent more time in the last 5 years standing in the rain, being stood up by someone on Facebook Marketplace than I have actually been working on boats.
Yeah.
It's a crazy business.
And the way, when you flip things on Marketplace, the way you do, the way anybody that makes a living doing it this way, you're not just a boat builder. You're a boat builder. You're a salesman. You're a marketer. You're the whole business. You've got to handle all aspects of it.
Yeah.
And when a guy's working at a boat plant somewhere or a boat shop, he might just be the engine guy. He might just be the hull guy. He might just be the console guy. And he does his job and goes home, and somebody else is going to sell it. Somebody else is going to market it. Somebody else is going to do all the administration work. You got to do all of it.
Yeah.
And people might look at it and say, well, it's a small business, a small shop. It's your livelihood, so it's a big business to
Yeah,
you.
it is a one-man band for sure.
Yeah.
And also with, dabbling in everything, you're right, the marketing is huge. It is huge because it's either going to be good marketing for you or it's going to be unintentional bad marketing. I get a lot of good deals through unintentional bad marketing. But because of having to sort of, perfect each one of these crafts separately, marketing, sales, I start to notice other things when I'm cruising Facebook Marketplace or whatever. I see, okay, I might not want to purchase this myself, but I could easily, shoot this guy a message, 3 or 4 sentences to show him how he could sell this boat faster for more money. So I don't know. I have a huge passion for boat building, but throughout this whole process, I've developed passions for every little portion of it, which I feel is how you produce longevity in something like this. Because if you didn't like any portion of that, if you didn't like the marketing, your sales are going to fall. If you don't like the actual sales portion of it, your sales are going to fall.
Right.
So luckily, I really, really do enjoy business, and I enjoy the nitty gritties behind why certain businesses work and why some don't. So I got lucky there. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer selling boats and in the behind the scenes, cars and trucks, is just through selling stuff. Being a, salesman for so many years, you start to kind of figure out what can I put the least amount of time in to get the most amount of profit at the end of the day and have the most amount of fun. And eventually I fell into boats, which was it is not a tough sale at all. If you sit in front of somebody and say, if you work on these boats and you stay within a good profit margin, you can work on the boats, have fun in the shop, listen to podcasts, and then you can have a lot of fun with it. You can blast down the intercoastal, cruise to the sandbar, and then make some money on the back end. It is not a tough sale at all.
And build another one.
It's whenever if you're selling furniture, that's kind of a tough sale sometimes, especially in the Florida heat if you're working out of a garage. If I was in here just restoring a, you know, an old cabinet or something, I'm happy about the potential back end money, but there's not this light at the end of the tunnel of, you know, I get to build this cabinet and then have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And then like,
Yeah.
so it's makes life a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Especially the different boats we get into. You know, the night is young. We still got a lot of life left to flip boats and stuff. So who knows? Maybe one day down the road we're flipping Midnight Express and big Miami center consoles, and then it's just that's a hard life to get out of.
That's where I grew up.
Too much fun.
I grew up down there in Miami around big boats.
Right on, man.
Well, I'm gonna get into some questions, man, and let's get to know you a little bit. How did you get started?
The crazy thing, how I got started was there's two roads that we go down that end up meeting at the same place. The first road was, I seriously was a absolute flipper, I guess you could say. I was flipping everything, and my specialty was actually like cruising around looking in dumpsters, and I'd find a couch, or I'd find, you know, a side table set, bring it home and sell it. And at the same time, when I met my wife, her father-in-law was, you know, big into boats. And all of a sudden, these two things merged together where I'm looking to get into bigger profit margin flips. At the same time, I'm trying to impress my wife's father a little bit. And in hindsight, it's so cringy, the path that I took. But seriously, I was flipping couches and lazy boy recliners, making decent money, I guess, for what it was out of the trash. Saved up a little bit of money until I bought this Ginu. I looked at this Ginu as if it was like a big center console. I was so proud of this Ginu, seriously. And I bought it to hopefully make some money on the back end, but it was a new world I was stepping in. But I remember I was taking pictures and went over to my father-in-law's house and was like, oh, I got a boat today. I got a boat now. And it was just the worst Ginu of all time. It was so bad. And I showed it to him, and he was like, you know, oh yeah, because he has a big yellow fin, and I was like, oh, yeah. You know, it's just the first boat, you know what I'm saying? And then I put some work into that boat, repainted it, repowered it. These are terms that I learned later on, but back in the day, I bought a outboard motor on Facebook Marketplace and put it on the back of this Ginu. You know, tried to have some fun with it, but didn't know much about the water at all. And the thing that really turned it all was, I think by the end of it, I had $600 in the Ginu total. And I mean, when I looked like it, or when I got it at first, it really looked like a $600 boat. And at the end, it maybe looked like a, you know, $800 or $900 boat. But I thought, you know, let's dabble in this a little bit. Threw it on Facebook Marketplace. And it was at the height of the season at the time. And I want to say it was within 45 minutes of listing it, some dude came and gave me my full asking price. I think I sold it for $1,100. So I, you know, at this time, I'm making like, I think my biggest profit on a couch was like $150. So I'm sitting here looking at this $1,100 stack going like, if we can replicate this, like
keep doing this.
I had a lot of fun. And if we can replicate this, and, you know, if all we can do is make a, you know, $600 on the back end, $400, $500, $600, that is huge, especially for a, you know, young married couple, just a little extra money on it. I took that $1,100, cruising Facebook Marketplace. I got to find another one. I want to find one just as bad as the first Ginu.
Them Ginus can hold their value, man.
If you get a good one,
some of those Ginus can get pricey, and I call the Ginu community like the Jeep community of the water.
That is a very good representation for sure.
They kind of have their little club.
They definitely have their little club.
They have Ginu rallies down in the Keys and on big rivers and stuff, and it's pretty cool. My wife and I have looked at some Ginus, but I like the skiffs, man. I like the wider, big open decks and center consoles.
I loved Ginus. Loved Ginus, man. I mean, if you have some flat backwaters and you're going out solo, like we're talking about a 15-4 Ginu, probably the most narrow boat on the market. If you have some flat backwaters, you can go catch some fish for sure, and you can get to some waters that you can't access with other boats. But if you live in a place like here where to get to the backwaters you have to go through some bigger water, and you have to deal with other boats, and it's not consistent. You're taking wake from a John boat and then a center console and then a mega yacht, just cruising through to get to the pass. I loved Ginus until I flipped my first Ginu. And then after that, it's just hard. I mean, I went from a Ginu 15-4 to a Ginu Classic, which is more wide, and it definitely is more stable, but it's still just not the same as a skiff. And I'm not hating on Ginus because they serve a purpose.
Yeah, they have their place.
If you are very intentional about the Ginu, then it is a fishing unit, and you can get back there and catch fish that, I couldn't even catch on a Carolina Skiff 14 because I just can't get deep enough.
There, yeah, they're definitely good for skinny water, and I see them a lot on rivers. A lot of riverboat guys like them. Yeah. And they got their place. I like to go into small creeks and stuff, places I can't get with skiffs and the bigger boats too. Yeah. Which I keep John boats around for those.
Yeah. I guess sometimes, I really love a boat that you can hop out on the side and just pull it over logs and stuff. Mm-hmm. Ginu, if you get a Ginu at the right price, that's what you were saying. Like they get, like when you get to the LT25s and everything.
And them center console Ginus, they get up there.
I think the perfect place to be at on a Ginu is find the cheapest Ginu that you can find that holds and put a nice outboard on the back, whatever. Something that you don't have to worry about, and then you can really use it to its full potential. You don't have to worry about getting scratched, going through really tight mangroves. Dang, I'm selling myself on a Ginu again right now. Honestly, just talking about it. I have the vision in my mind.
I'm one of them guys that I want all these boats. And at one time I had like 5 of them in the yard. My wife says, "You have a boat problem." I said, No, I have a storage problem. There's a difference.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And we had like 7 kayaks behind those. She's, "You have a problem." I said, "It's not a problem."
Exactly. Especially if you do it right, you got a little bit of equity on the back. Mm-hmm.
I have not lost money on a boat yet. Now, there's been some that I have not made a huge profit on. Yeah, but I haven't lost money on one yet. Matter of fact, the last John boat I sold, I think I made a few $100 on. Yeah. But in defense, this was a 1432. It was a 2025 Tracker Grizzly, and the motor was a 2023 Yamaha 25 4-stroke. Not a lot of guys looking for a $5,000-$6,000 John boat, and I couldn't sell that for less than what it was worth. Yeah. So I was lucky to make a few $100 on that caliber of a John boat. Now, cheaper John boats, you can make profits on all day long. Now I live in Eufaula, Alabama, and a lot of the freshwater places, so the John boats are gold up there.
It's crazy the price difference just a few hours away. Depending on what boat it is, I used to make a lot of money selling Carolina skiffs specifically to people in Alabama. I don't know if it was a bad season for Carolina skiffs here is a good season for Carolina skiffs up in Alabama or what, but there was a time where seriously I honestly would go up to Georgia to get the best deal on a Carolina skiff, bring it back to Florida, and then sell it to somebody in Alabama. Like this weird triangle of different financial.
It's like they're regional. There's areas where Now, I have a Polar Skiff now, and reason I bought that boat specifically was because we like to go down to the coast, go down to Mexico Beach, go into shallow waters, redfish and stuff like that. But I can also throw it on Lake Eufaula and go bass fishing and crappie fishing and catfishing and do all the freshwater stuff. So one of the main attractions for me to the skiffs is they're so versatile. I can be out in the bay, I can be in the skinny waters, and I can be bass fishing in Lake Eufaula or hit the rivers.
Yes.
That's the appeal to me is for the skiffs. And you're right, the differences in prices, because I'm looking at buying boats down here and selling them.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a daughter in St. Augustine, so a great excuse to come visit.
Exactly.
And say, oh, I'm going to come visit my daughter, maybe pick up a boat, take it home and sell it.
Yes, man, I can't tell you how many times me and my wife have gone on free vacations because I just had that in mind. My wife wants to go down to Destin. A week in advance, I'm on Facebook Marketplace Destin.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a deal, trying to line something up. And if I can just, if we're here looking for the meat and potatoes, I'm looking for a decent profit. But if it's like this out of town thing,
something you pick up quick and
something quick, and I can just bring it back home, sell it, make $400 and pay for the vacation.
Vacation paid for.
Dude, this is
when we decided to bring my wife's car instead of my truck. Can I pick up, man? I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little SUV, so something I'm starting to get into is customizing center consoles.
Yeah.
I said, man, if I can get a small center console down there, I can probably fit it in the back of that car, take it home, customize it, and stick it on Facebook.
Exactly. See, that's why this all just works. The community that we've built on the channel and everything, it's all the same. Because when I cruise out in my wife's car, I'm looking for trolling motors. I'm looking for Simrad units. I'm looking for just a good deal, something marine related that I can fit in the back of the truck, under the suitcases, whatever it is, man. Because there's always something out there.
Always. And me loving boats so much, like you, down here in the Jacksonville Beach, St. Augustine, all along this coast, you find amazing deals because the competition's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you look up a Mako Pro Skiff in Jacksonville and you're going to find dozens of them.
Yeah.
If I look them up in Eufaula, Alabama, I might find one, but it's going to be down on the coast somewhere, PCB or somewhere. So because so much competition here, prices are going to be better.
Yeah. Dang, and it sucks. The amount of times I've heard somebody shows up to look at my Carolina Skiff J16 and they're kind of tire kicking because they say, well, I'm going to keep this one in mind. I have 7 other J16s to go look at today. So, that you're right. It definitely
and a lot of times they might just be pulling your chain because they want to get a better deal out of you. But around here, they might not because
seriously,
the boats are out there.
Seriously. That's why it has honestly been such a blessing in disguise, this whole YouTube thing, because before I was so heavily reliant on Facebook Marketplace and just hoping that it all worked out. But ever since YouTube came into the picture, it has shifted everything in my boat sales. Right. And I honestly prefer to sell boats to somebody through the channel as opposed to on Facebook Marketplace because of that. Like, what I document on the channel, I document everything. All the good and the bad, everything. And with an end goal in mind of having a good running turnkey boat ready to showcase in a maiden voyage video or a last ride video with intentions of hopefully selling it to somebody who watched the whole process so you know what you're getting into. Because Facebook Marketplace is a dangerous place. If you are really pinching pennies or something, you're holding on to your money, you care about it, you're trying your hardest not to get burned out here and put yourself in an even worse financial spot, Facebook Marketplace is a dangerous, dangerous place. Yeah. And I try to just, cut all of that out. So that way, if you show up to come buy a boat from here, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. And also it helps me out because I don't have to talk to 30 people on a Saturday morning that show up and ask how many hours are on it, when was the last service, and all 100 questions, which I don't mind answering, but when it's tire kicking to get a good deal and they just leave anyways, and then the next guy comes and tire kicks and asks 100 questions, it is such a blessing in disguise to be able to just kind of answer all those questions with the YouTube journey leading up to the the sale on the back end. So it's been a blessing in disguise.
What's the worst boat you ever tried to flip?
Dang, the worst boat I've ever tried to flip. There's two options here because I had a really good boat that was a really bad flip just because it had some skeletons in the closet in the industry around here that I wasn't aware of. And then I have another boat that I would say was just a bad boat to begin with because I just didn't know much about boats. And that the first boat that was a good boat was a Contender 21 Open. It was a beautiful boat. I didn't ask any questions. I knew it was a good deal on Facebook Marketplace. It was listed at $25,000 with a beautiful 225. It was a Yamaha 225 on the back, but it was kind of that Yamaha Mercury transitional year period. And I knew it was a good boat at a good price. I couldn't ask any questions. I got to go buy it. So I went, I bought it, paid $25 for it, got back home, realized that it was taking on water and I realized that's why I got it for such a good deal, but it wasn't that big of a deal because I just figured out where the leak was coming from, and it was just a leaky valve in one of the live well pumps. Fixed it, doesn't take on water anymore. Now I have a $25,000 boat that I can sell for, $30,000 or $35,000. Easy profits. When I went to sell it, it was cursed on the market from the beginning. Because right when I listed it, back in the day, I would post it on Facebook Marketplace, but I would also list it on all of the boat pages in the area. I don't do that anymore. I've just learned over the years that if you give anybody something to comment on, it's just free game. They'll comment whatever they want. They don't care about it affecting you putting food on the table for your family. I posted it, and on every single page, people started saying, "Oh, dude, that boat was taking on water. That boat was this, that boat was that. The guy that sold you that boat scammed you. He's a bad guy. He's the worst guy in the marine industry." So all of a sudden, this beautiful boat that is now turnkey, ready to go, doesn't take on water. I fixed all the problems. They don't care. Everybody just saw it as a boat that takes on water. Everybody was so angry that I was even trying to sell it because I was the guy that took the chance, took the risk, purchased it at a lower value, put the money and time into it, and now trying to sell it for more money. People take so much offense to that, so they were really coming for me, and that was a very, very, very hard situation to get out of. I actually wasn't even able to sell the boat because of just this crazy blemish that was put on it. It didn't matter where I posted it. Facebook Marketplace, so many messages would just flood my box of just scammer. And I'd be like, I'm not trying to scam anybody. I'd try and post it on OfferUp. I would download these new crazy random apps just to see if I could squeeze it in somewhere. Didn't matter where I posted it. They all found me and labeled it as just this crazy scam boat. So I ended up having to trade it for a Pathfinder 22. Ended up making money on it one way or the other, but that was probably the worst situation I was in.
Experience you had?
The worst boat that I ever bought. Early on in the boat game, I was very easily influenced by friend groups and certain people in the industries. If I just heard down the grapevine that right now it's really trendy or it's really cool to have a certain type of boat, my brain would zero in on trying to find that type of boat. Whether it was trying to look cool in a friend group or whatever, show up when and be like, oh, I know we were talking about this last week, but I just got one. Just try to get brownie points in the friend group, I guess, whatever, hanging out with the bros. And at this point in my life, apparently it was really cool to have back then they called it a V mod John boat. I don't even know now, like after learning for years and years, I don't even know if that's what it's called. But like, you know how a Grizzly has the V point rather than the flat front?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's called a V mod. Like, but it's just the pointy John boat.
Yep.
They instantly hold more value
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to the John boats with the flat front. Now I'm curious if there actually is proper terms for these two things.
I've heard V-Mod a lot.
You have? Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, and I know a lot of duck boats are built that way.
Yeah.
A lot of them, the utility duck boats. Are
I mean,
built that way.
they're way better as far as plowing through water.
Yeah.
But I was cruising Facebook Marketplace and I was like, let me find the cheapest V mod I can find. And I found this one, and it had probably, I don't even know, like an 18th century Johnson motor on the back. It was so old. But the guy said it ran. I showed up one afternoon, and I think it was maybe $1,400. And I didn't know much about it. I didn't know how to do certain tests that I do now. I didn't really know what a good motor sounded like. I think at this time, I didn't even know that motors were supposed to pee. So like, it was so early on. So, I mean, he fired it up, not on a hose. He fired it up in the driveway. And I was like, it sounds good. It sounded like a NASCAR, like straight up, this old 2-stroke Johnson.
Yeah.
And he just let it sit there and idle probably for 5 or 6 minutes while I'm walking around the boat. No water, no nothing. And I'm just like, oh yeah, it looks good to me. I didn't know the difference between an all-weld John boat versus a riveted John boat. I just was like, this is what the cool kids are talking about. It's got the pointy front, right? And I talked him down a little bit, maybe do $1,000, thinking I got a score. I gave him the money. He gave me this like bill of sale looking fake title thing. I didn't even know what a real title looked like back then. I took the paperwork. I was like, okay, looks good to me. Looks good to me. And I drove out of there. I maybe got 5 minutes down the street, and I pulled over, and I was taking pictures of it on the side of the street, sending it to my friend groups. It's like, guess who got a V mod? I was super excited about it, but you know, first stop was Walmart, and I picked up some camo paint. I got the tan and the military green. Went back home, and I'm just spray painting this John boat, and it looked pretty sweet. But it doesn't matter if every rivet in the boat leaks,
Right.
and the motor doesn't pee, and just nothing is going well. So I mean, I tried to put it in the water, and right when I backed it into the ramp, I mean, it was like, let's just say there's 100 rivets on a John boat. There's obviously more, but let's just say 100. I want to say 85 of them were profusely leaking. Like there was no flex seal that could save this. It needed to be absolutely re-riveted. It probably needed to be, pop all the rivets out. Let's weld this thing once and for all. Right when I backed it in, got out of the truck to go look at it, there was quarts of water in the back. That's how fast it was taking on water. And I was like, I mean, it's on the trailer, so while we're here, let's try and fire up the motor. No chance. I mean, 2-stroke motor. It probably had its last breath in that dude's driveway.
Without water in it.
Obviously burnt up the impeller. I mean, dude, it was just a bad experience. Had to take it home. Ended up putting I had to put probably $3,000 into this boat just to eventually profit $100. And like you were saying earlier, I was so happy about that $100 profit at the end of it all. But man, it took so much blood, sweat, and tears to get there. It was crazy. I mean, that at the time of my life, me and my wife, just a couple of youngins, pinching pennies, trying to pay rent. And now all of a sudden I have like $4,000 tied up in a liability, like, because I'm thinking, I'm going to sell this for $2,500. But I mean, at the end of it, it was a good turnkey boat, and it didn't take on any water. But that was probably the worst boat. At least the first bad boat that comes to mind. I mean, I've sold hundreds of boats now at this point. There's been some bad ones, but that one was just so bad early on because what could have been a good experience getting in the game turned out to be such a bad experience.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't capable of, still providing for my family through the thick portion of life in that moment, I would have been toast.
Yeah.
We would have gone bankrupt. Like, two youngins in life just trying to get by. You take a $4,000 hit. Some people can't recover from that.
Right.
And I keep that in mind still to this day when I'm selling a boat. Like, I do not sell boats with some sneaky thing in the back of my mind, because I just remember like sitting on the floor with my wife, eating PB&Js because, we can't spring for the Zaxby's tonight, like, because we got all this money tied up in a boat, and all the long, hard talks I had with my wife, just, I don't know how we're going to get through this. I think about that now still to this day. And there's some, through the channel, we've had some squirrely moments, and there's going to be more squirrely moments because we're just bros in the shop.
Yeah, right.
But I would never sell a boat with liabilities like that just because of that. So, I mean, bad experience down the road turned into, something good. So
Yeah. Now, with those mistakes made and those lessons learned, we see where you are now. I mean, recently I seen you with my favorite boat I've seen you do is that Key West. That Key West and the Sportsman. Mine personally was the Key West. That was a beautiful boat. With those mistakes made and those lessons learned and seeing where you're at now, where are you now? I see SKU number 1 sitting here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the transformation and the process of this. Is this where you're at, where you're going to start doing full-on custom ground-up boats?
There's going to be 2 sectors to this, and taking on a, whole new approach to this. So I'll never be able to turn away a bad deal. If I'm cruising Facebook Marketplace and something like the Key West pops up, got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But I've always had so much fun with this stuff. Like, I'm talking the skiff builds. You buy a skiff, your demographic in selling a skiff like this on the back end is such a fun demographic. We're talking about the boys. We're talking about the homies at the sandbar. And the whole process, building a boat like this, I have that in mind. And I mean, this is the first time that I have really taken a boat down to the ground level like this and building it back up with so much more intentionality in mind. It's very, very exciting. I would say that's where we're at. And that's probably where we'll be for a long time. Having some fun with the Facebook Marketplace turn and burns, but also doing full custom boats on the back end. I don't know if I want to get into the actual skiff mold, full building boats just yet, because that is where my hesitancy lies with the actual marine industry, is when you get to a certain level. So I think where I like to be is where we're at right now. Buy a boat, and it's not a restoration, because whenever this boat is finished, it's not going to look like your normal Carolina Skiff 14.
Complete rebuild.
Exactly. It's going to have a different look to it. It's going to have a Skiffland Boatworks vibe to it, to where you won't realize it on this boat, but 6, 7, 8 boats down the line, you're going to start to recognize it as a Skiffland Boatworks build. And the friends that we make along the way is just going to be even better throughout the process, because right now I have 2 really, really solid, I would say, connections that have turned friends. but connections in the marine industry that this boat is going to be a representation of what I can do, but also what, you know, we can do,
Right.
the three of us. But it's exciting to, you know, look back on it one day and see
Where it started.
yeah, where it started to where it is. But the friendship that I have built, just to throw it out there, Josh at Florida Plastic Fab.
The windshields?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
windshields. That was super organic. I didn't message him beforehand saying, let's make a video out of this. That was just, I needed a windshield. He provided a service. I pulled up and just so happened to make a really good friend out of it. And now he's kind of, you know, my go-to guy. And he's just a bro. Mm-hmm. He's just a bro that happens to have knowledge, expertise, capabilities, and can help me along the way. So, I mean,
yeah.
I'm
excited about this one. I'm looking forward to see it develop.
I had one vision in mind that was very, very expensive. And I needed a lot of help. I needed fabrication help. Right. I needed custom gel coat help. I needed help in so many different sectors, which inevitably would make it more expensive. And, you know, kind of lost the vision through the process of that. And here in the last couple of weeks, the vision just came back at me. It actually just smacked me in the face. It's like, what are you doing? Because, like, you might build a cool boat and it might be really, really expensive and cool, but you're getting little broed and kicked down in the process. You've had so much fun building boats. Why don't you just take everything that you've learned over the past years, months, whatever, and put it into a boat yourself? Show the world what you can do, what you are capable of. Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of people out there that buy a Carolina skiff and put a ton of money and work and time and restoration into their projects. And I'm taking a lot of notes. The community is very, very helpful as far as the Carolina skiffs, you know, talking to people about what paint I should use, what is a good technique for painting it. But this is, you know, I don't know. There's something different about it. I don't even know how to put it into words just yet. Like, it's deep in my soul of why this endeavor is different than just, you know, customizing a boat in a shop. There's something that's like screaming to me that, like, we can actually make something cool out of this.
This one, from watching you over the times I've watched you, this one seems personal. The other one seems like business. Now I'm flipping these boats. I'm supporting my family. Yeah. Yes, I enjoy doing it. Yes, it's my passion. But this one seems personal. Like, this is your stamp.
That is exactly. Those are the words that I was looking for. It is absolutely personal, and I'm glad I flipped the script just a few days ago, because now it's more personal. Like, I mean, it's this boat right here. Whew, I mean,
and you started out right from the get-go from, I'm gonna make this my personal stamp by saying I'm gonna create a color.
Yeah,
that's mine.
Yeah,
I created this from the get-go,
and I'm super happy about it.
It does look good.
It's different than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And the blue is coming through.
I'm happy you say that. I wonder if it looks blue on camera.
And on when I watched the video, there was a certain angle. I think your camera was probably up at the corner of the door there, looking down. I said, man, you can really see the blue right there.
Right on.
And I think the light was hitting it just right too.
Yeah, when I was mixing up the colors at first, I was like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then, you know, I went to the store, got another quart of paint, brought it back, put some green in there. I'm building this concoction, hoping to get the end result that I wanted, and it still wasn't the end result that I wanted. So I said, you know, let me just leave this here. Let me not invest any more money. Let me just go sleep on it, think about it. And I was laying in bed and I got slapped in the face again, similar to taking a different approach to this, taking it back down a notch, having more fun with the process, how that smacked me in the face. I was laying in bed and I got smacked in the face. That was like, dude, the color that you just created is so much more symbolic than what you realize, I guess. And it was a cool moment because I almost wanted to race to the shop in the middle of the night and just start putting it on the boat before I changed my mind. But what this color now means to me, like, you know, started out with a white base, put black in it, I put blue in it, I put green in it, and I was hoping to make this teal color. And, you know, if I went back and did it differently, I think I would like maybe do it a little better. But this color, I could put red in it now. I could put yellow, red, brown, and mix it up. And it's so gray in there that no matter what I put in it, it's going to continue to look gray. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, whenever it hit me how symbolic that paint color is of, there's so much that goes into this that most people will never see. Right. And most people will never know. Like, you see a boat at the sandbar and it's a beautiful boat, you're happy about it, but you don't really know everything that goes into it behind the scenes. So now when I look at this paint color, to some people it might look gray, to some people it might look gray blue. I'm hoping it comes across gray blue.
It does to me.
But when I look at it, I'm going to know that there's more in it. Like, there's not even just the colors, but that's just gonna, there's green, there's blue, there's, but when I look at it, it's gonna remind me of everything that went into the whole entire process. Right. Because, I mean, the color is the statement from the jump. Yeah. Like, that's the first thing that you see.
And like you said, not everybody sees, they don't see so much of the behind the scenes and stuff that goes into a boat or any build. I've built cars and motorcycles and stuff in my younger years. Yeah. How often have you sat with this boat in particular, now that you're being so creative and making it your own, and that couch right there, and just thought for unknown amount of times, I can do this, I could do that, I could do this, or get started in on a process and think, all right, if I'm doing this, I could go ahead and do that. So your brain is continually just spinning on what you can do, should do, shouldn't do.